Hey everybody, welcome to Zanpakuto Explained, the series where I try to explain every Zanpakuto in the Bleach series. I know I took a pretty long hiatus from this, but I can't think of any other thing to put out. I have some projects in my mind, but I can't think of how to put them into a video. So I want to just kind of return to this so I can put out some regular content, because these are pretty easy to produce, if I'm being honest. So today, I want to kick off my return with Saizella Pora Grand Zanpakuto, Fornicares, which I'm actually kind of excited to talk about this one, because unlike other Resurrections, this one has, a lot of, not a lot of abilities, but, interesting abilities. And so, now, with Zanpakutos, Resurrections, which are Zanpakutos, but you get the idea, they're Spanish, of course, they're all Spanish words, but they also have Japanese translations, because, the kanji are written out to, say, Fornicares, but then the kanji means something else, so it adds, a separate meaning. Not a separate meaning, but, does say something different in the Spanish translation. So, I want to talk about that. Fornicares, as you probably know, in Spanish, it means you will fornicate. Quite obvious, I think. In Japanese, it means consort of lewdness, which is also a pretty apt description. I personally think that describes him more than you will fornicate, because he is a very lewd guy. He's very flamboyant. Saizella is a strange character. And for some reason in the English dub, I know the reason, but, in the English dub, they actually changed his Zanpakuto name. It is pronounced La Lugerosa in the English dub, which means the lewdness. I'm guessing they changed it because they thought Fornicares was too explicit, but it seems like a weird thing to change when they didn't censor much else. Okay, so now we're on to his release command, which is SIP, Fornicares, and he does something very strange with his Zanpakuto. He puts it in his mouth and swallows it. Then he becomes all fat and explodes into a bunch of blood, which he gets reborn into some weird tentacle monster with tendrils fucking coming out of his back that looked like bird wings. Very fucking strange release command and transformation. It fits his character, I guess. I wanted to describe what he looks like, but I can't. It's fucking weird. So I'm just gonna put it on screen, and you should see for yourself. You probably know what it looks like already, but really examine it, because there's a lot of strange details in it. I'm literally looking at a picture of it right now. I fucking can't. Why did Kubo make it look like that? He really likes his weird mad scientist characters. Okay, so now we're on to Fornicares' abilities, and the first one is unnamed, but it is quite interesting, I think. Like most of his abilities. Basically, he makes blood explode out of his back, or it's a blood-like substance, and if the blood touches you, it will create perfect clones. Not just one clone either, it's multiple clones, which will then attack you. Which is, pretty strange, pretty OP too. It makes you think, it really sucks he's the 9th Espada, because he has the most, I say the second most OP ability out of any Espada. Maybe third. I don't know, I would have to think about it, but yeah, I'd say Fornicares is pretty OP. The ability is unnamed, though. I'm just going to call it cloning, I guess. So his second ability actually has a name. It is Telon Balon. In Japanese, it means globe curtain, and in Spanish, it means curtain ball. Which is very descriptive, I think. He basically just wraps his wings around him, and they expand, making a shield all around his body. Okay, so I guess now is a good time to talk about this. The tendrils he has can be manipulated at his will. He can move them, they can stretch, they can act as shields, obviously. The reason I'm bringing that up now is because his next ability is Teatro di Tetere, which is his main ability, as he describes it. It means, in Japanese and Spanish, it means puppet feeder. And what it does is he grabs his opponent with one of his wings, and then they expand and create a flower thing, kind of almost, and trap them inside of it. And then it spits it out, and then they go back to the Sizel, and then it drops a puppet of them into his hands. And basically, the puppets can be opened up, and it gives Sizel access to all of the opponent's organs. It kind of works like a voodoo doll. At least in the way pop culture describes them. I don't know if that's actually how they're supposed to work. But basically, the dolls have a bunch of things that are stand-ins for the person's organs and internal features, and Sizel can manipulate them at his will, which is basically really fucking OP. Say Sizel gets you with that ability, he can be like, oh, you like your lungs? And then he fucking takes them. And then, oh, you don't have lungs anymore. And yeah, all damage to the doll reflects on the user, which, it's really OP, basically. As far as I know, there's really no noticeable counter to it. Sizel is just a fucking OP guy, I guess. I guess it's a bit wrong to call that his biggest ability, because he does describe another one as La Lugiosa's best ability, and that is Gabriel. It's the ability to implant himself inside of his enemies and give birth to himself, basically. So he impregnates them basically and forces them to give birth to him out of their mouths, and they die. He does this by summoning this tentacle thing out of his back and then grabbing the opponent with them, and then having that tentacle spawn a second tentacle that goes into the belly button. Pretty grotesque technique, but it is really good. It makes him very hard to kill in a 1v1 situation. Sorry, in a 1v2 situation, I guess. There's another strange ability Sizel has, which kind of goes hand in hand with Gabriel. Basically, if something... we don't know if it's an ability of his Zanpakuto, but it is an ability he possesses. I'm more thinking that it's an ability he kind of implanted in himself, but the wiki considers it a Zanpakuto ability. It's unnamed, but basically, if something eats him, he gains control over it. He does it with Mayuri's Bankai. But yeah, there's not really much to say about it. It's very straightforward. If something eats him, it gets under his control. Very, very situational. I don't think many things would be eating him, but, kind of how Mayuri and Sizel fight. Really situational abilities that seem really useless, but they come in handy, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to Fornicares. Very diverse Zanpakuto, has a lot of interesting abilities, a lot of cool and overpowered abilities. It made for one of the most interesting fights in the series, in my opinion. Between him and Mayuri. But yeah, there's not really that much to talk about. Only 10 minutes, I guess. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I'm probably gonna do another Espada. If you have any ideas, please comment that. I should have it up in the next couple days. I'm gonna hopefully eventually cover every Zanpakuto, but I do want to do some other stuff at some point, so who knows if that will happen or not. Anyway, thanks for getting this far. Please tell me what you think of Fornicares. I'm sort of interested. I don't really see people talking about it in the favorite Zanpakuto discussions, but it is really interesting. I would think people would, because it does have a lot of cool abilities. I like the design, I like Sizel, but I've never seen it in that discussion before.